So I'm gonna be making ribs today, but the first thing I need to do is get a new heat protector because I just used a brick last time and that was not the best. So I got some chunks of apple wood for some smokiness and I'm gonna soak that in this bucket here so smoke that. So we went to the barbecue store to get some rib rub, some barbecue sauce, some charcoal, and a new heat protector for our grill. Okay, so you're gonna wanna wash your hands, then on a plastic wrapped surface, you're gonna wanna put your ribs on. And I like to use 2 seasonings, so you're just gonna add a little bit of rub to each rib. And then just gonna wanna rub that in. You can just use your hands. Maybe add a little more. Yeah, you wanna get both sides with the rub. And you also want to get the sides. So you just get all that flavor everywhere. And then you're going to flip it over. Now there is a membrane on this side of the ribs. Some people like to cut it off. I like how instead of just being a bare bone on the bottom, sometimes there's a little bit of, since the membrane is edible, there's a little bit of flavor at the bottom after you're done with the main rib. So yeah, you're gonna wanna put a lot of rub actually on both sides. And just get as much flavor as possible. And then rub it in. There we go. And then after you're done rubbing it in, you're gonna wanna let it just sit. Let the flavors of the rub seep into the meat. So first things first, before you can put in your charcoals, you have to get out the stuff that you use your grill for, and it can really get your hands pretty dirty, so you should definitely wash your hands afterwards. So you're gonna wanna get a good amount of charcoal in there. Usually I use like this thing to start up the grill, where I put some charcoal on the top and some newspaper on the bottom and ignite it. But I got some new like fire starter things at the barbecue store, so now I can just do it myself. And yeah, it gets your hands real dirty, so make sure to wash them afterwards. So now I just ignite this little thing. Set it on fire. And then I just put that there with the charcoal, and that should hopefully spread and start a big ol' fire. Okay, so now that this is actually going, I got some apple wood, or some crab apple wood that I soaked in water so it wouldn't burn, to add some nice smokiness, or crab apple smokiness, into our ribs. That'll definitely add some good flavor. We're also gonna add back our heat protector and our grill holder, because we did get this going and it's going pretty hard, so it's not gonna fizz out. Also, just an FYI, you have to keep some ventilation going in the smoker so the fire doesn't suffocate. We're gonna let this get up to about 225, and then we're gonna put the ribs in to smoke. I like to have my ribs with a side of cornbread, but I'm too lazy to make like actual cornbread, so I'm just gonna use a mix. I'm gonna pour the bag of mix in, and then just 2/3 cups of milk.
I was stressed too, so I'm going step by step.
1/3 cup of butter. 1 egg.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, and then you just mix that like that, and then you have to transfer it to I'm using 8x8 greased baking pan, like that, and then you put it in the oven at 375 for 29 minutes. There we go. So now we got about the right temperature. So we got to put these ribs on, and I have this thermometer that I'm going to be using. It's like you just put it in and it shows on the little screen what temperature the ribs are at. There we go. So I like to have some greens with my ribs, so we're just gonna decapitate some broccoli, put some olive oil on there, good amount, sprinkle a good amount of salt on there, generous, and just shake that up. There we go. Then we're gonna put it in a sheet pan like this, and then you just pour it in there. You want to spread it out. You don't want to have too many pieces of broccoli on top of each other. And then you're going to put them in the oven at 425 until they're crisped up to your likeness. There we go. So now that this is nice and crispy, I'm going to bring it over to the counter. And to add some flavor, I'm going to sprinkle some Parmesan on there for really nice, salty cheesiness and a little bit of texture too. So now that these ribs are done, which is about 195, I got to take them out, and I should wrap them in tin foil and let them rest for a bit. So that is what I'm going to do. And I think that's it. So, yeah, that's about all I did today. Just cooking up some ribs. Done it before. Like doing it, and I'll probably do it again. Bye-bye.